Welcome back, Friar Tuck here, and this is this week's hobo tutorial. Okay, so I was asked a question by a subscriber here about, do hobos have stash points? And I think I may have covered it in other videos on the YouTube section, but what I'm going to be talking about here, I don't really want to have it too public because it may compromise, other hobos or other travelers and the way that they stash stuff. So sometimes you just got to put it behind a paywall where you know that the people that are going to have it aren't going to use it for malicious means or other things. So do hobos have stash spots? That's kind of complicated in the sense that, yes, home bums do. But as far as travelers like me, no. So let me cover the home bums before I start talking about travelers. Okay. So your home bums, sometimes, they just don't want to carry around their stuff, or they don't have a backpack that will carry their sleeping gear. So what they like to do is they will go and they will find a place to stash it. So for example, as you guys see here, I'm at the end of a road next to the railroad tracks, and somebody, if you see this right here, this little piece of siding, what somebody has done, and I know that they're using it as a stash spot, but let's see here. So if you see down right here, that is where they'll put their bag. They'll put something over it so that it stays hidden. But one of the things that will end up happening, especially for the downtown dwellers, once you get out of downtown, you have spots like this that are scattered around that you can go and and find stash spots like this. Now, in the downtown area, that's kind of where it becomes a little bit more complicated, because now you are having to worry about the landscaping crew, other people going by looking through the bushes, because other bums know that people stash their stuff, and that's part of the reason why I say you always keep on the move, because people are watching everything you do, whether you realize it or not. And it's usually those white dopers that are up all night long that are doing stuff like that and keeping an eye on it. So as far as the dealing with it with the on the bum side, on the home bum side, yes, that is something that definitely gets done. Now, what are you stashing anything valuable? No, not really. You're only stashing pretty much your sleeping gear, and because the important stuff like your rigs, your pipes, your electronics, your important paperwork, your wallet, stuff like that always stays on you. But as far as the rest of it goes, you can kind of get it much easier. And here's the other thing out here, especially when you're in a city, there are certain times of the year where they definitely give out blankets and other things so that they can make sure that you have somewhat adequate warmth through the winter. At least that's what they try and do. Usually the stuff is crap, but on that same sense, since a lot of it is easily replaceable, or if it gets wet because you get soaked outside, that is another problem. It just, sometimes they'll just throw it in a bush. Sometimes they'll try and dry it out and just leave it and come back, because you've got a lot of things to do and not a lot of time to do it, and it takes forever to do basic tasks. So sometimes your impatience gets to you. Okay, so as far as home bums, that's kind of what they do. Now, as far as travelers like me, I left Apopka last year. I haven't been in Apopka since. I might go back to Gainesville. I kind of would like to go back to Gainesville. But no, I'm going to be meeting my friend that I was supposed to be meeting in Gainesville. We're going to end up meeting in Ocala. And I'm going to wait till after Sam's appointment. To go up there and to meet him, because him and I are talking about jumping trains. We had a nice little conversation last night. And as far as travelers go, you're gonna be all over the place. You kind of go where the wind goes, and unless you have specific destinations in mind, or you have a specific circuit, like what I was trying to do with the biking, which was to do the southern tier during the winter, and then during the spring start doing the central divide, or something along those lines, and then during the summer do northern trails, and then migrate myself down south in the fall. And I would have, you kind of have to create your own little circuit, and it takes a while to do that. Now, if you know that you're going to be going by the same spots, or you're going to be passing through the same cities frequently, like every so often, or if you're, so for example, if I would have stayed, looked to stay in the Cincinnati area long term, I would have also gone down to Louisville and Lexington, and I would have done that as a circuit. And so in each area, I would probably find a place to put a stash, so that when I got there, it's like, okay, so, I don't want to carry all this with me, but I need to leave some stuff behind that I'm going to need here, but I don't need anywhere else. And so, I would have probably been more inclined to do something like that. But you generally, when you're traveling, especially the way I travel, I never end up in the same spot twice. And if I do, it's rare. Sometimes it's by intent, sometimes it's just, that's just part of the way the track goes. But in general, stashing stuff for your for your trip and stuff like that, if you're planning on traveling, it's probably not a good idea. And here's another story that I learned during my time in insurance. Here's one of the stories that I learned going when I was in insurance, which is during the 1930s, when House Joint Resolution 192 was passed, the government was coming and confiscating gold. And so a lot of the Southerners, in their acts of rebellion, what they would do is they took their stuff out and they buried it. Well, the thing is they don't know where they buried it. They forgot where they buried it. The landscape has changed. The years have gone by. Memory's been lost because you're not coming right back to it. And so, people, if you buy property down here in the South, you want to take some time and take a metal detector, because especially in the older houses and the older properties in the rural areas, you're going to find all kinds of different treasures along the way, because when the government comes to confiscate it, the Southerners said, screw you, not going to let it happen. And so again, they buried their stuff, and there's a lot of gold that's buried in the ground here that we don't even know about because of what happened during the 1930s, when they confiscated the gold to transition us into legal tender, which is the fiat currency that we have right now. And so again, if you're going to do something like that, or if you're considering something like that, I really, unless you're going to be a local home bum and you're going to frequent the area and stuff like that, you're stashing it for a day, stuff like that. But when you go into a place to work, they generally know that you're coming with a backpack, so they're not going to, if you come with a shopping cart, they're going to have an issue. But if you come with a backpack, they'll let you stash it in the office and send you off to work. Or if you do the day labor, what ends up happening is that you just take it with you, and then when you get it there, you just kind of drop it off at the office, and then you pick it up at the end of the day. Most people know that, especially if you're a traveler, you showed up to work, they don't really care. They'll accommodate you on those issues. Now, having Sam will be a lot. I can't go get day labor, not with Sam. She's gonna. That's one thing that I definitely would have to give up, having an animal on the road, because they're not going to watch Sam, and Sam is going to require a lot of work before I can actually take her on a job site with her, teach her to just be at my side at all times and not roam off and not try and get in everybody's face because she wants attention. So this is just, it will be time and progress, but when she gets older, that might be something that I could definitely do, unless I have somebody that I trust to watch my dog. And one of the most important lessons I've learned out here is trust no one. If it's valuable to you, don't let somebody else take care of it, because it may end up getting damaged or something else. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being one of my Patreon subscribers, and I will see you in the next week's video.